All right, I picked Caroline Wozniacki. We're not going to make Louise Pleming. We're not going to make you pick right away, but you got to think about who is your winner tonight. You're commentating on the World Feed, and gosh, what a great women's final we have this evening.
Oh, it's going to be amazing to look at the journey of both of these girls. The way they've come through has been incredible. And I think also to think that they've both faced match points. It's just been such a tough road. You look at Simona Halep going over on her ankle in Destiny's match. That was a tough match, even though she looked like she was going to get through that. But that was almost a 2-hour match in itself. And then just the epic battle with Lauren Davis. I did that match, and it just was like
crazy.
watching 2 matches in a row. And yeah, phenomenal fighting. And I know it's sad for Lauren Davis. I mean, I think she's going to have that nightmare over in her mind. 3 match points, and her toenail falling off at that moment, and then a game later the other toenail fell off. And that just gave Halep an opportunity to win that match. And it's
toenails
like,
and blisters and
it just went on and on and on.
Yeah.
And I think after that match, Halep just said, "I've got this. I've got this Australian Open. There's no way. I'm going to give it everything."
There's
that
not
was the
been
moment.
a more gruesome foot experience than the Australian Open
Right.
in 2018.
Yeah.
Is that the most gruesome? You've seen
the toenails,
pictures.
and then young Chung
Yeah.
with his blisters.
Yeah, I thought Chung, maybe he was a little soft, blisters. He didn't want to compete. Women are tougher. I thought, go Lauren. And then I saw the bottom of Chung's foot, and it was layer upon blisters, and he just kept backing it up. So women aren't tougher than men.
So, tonight we were trying to ask Steve Pearce, or trying to understand for all of us, the pressure and, the expectation and all the weight that are on the shoulders of these 2 women tonight. So, Louise, you do a lot of coaching, and you've had experience as a pro player yourself. What do you even say to a player like Simona or like Caroline before a match like this?
Well, I think they've both said it, because in all their post-match interviews, they've just really reinforced that they're just working on their best effort and what they can bring, and just giving everything and just forgetting about results. I mean, at this point in the game as well, you're feeling pretty great about the way you're timing the ball. You're match hardened, and everything is becoming pretty automatic. And they're going to play the way that they're going to play. They have their plans, their patterns, everything is already set. So now it's really just trying to manage the emotions, in that moment, and really keeping it point by point, keeping it in the now, just bringing it back. What do I have to do? And I think for Halep, she really needs to go back to her routines. She needs to take time, but also just keep lifting that energy. She wants to be the one that wants to be the dictator out there. But for sure, it's just really understanding this is the mindset, regardless of what situation you're in. Please do not focus on the score. You cannot, because there is so much that they're playing for. And Halep has said, it's great to be number 1, but what's more important? Is it more important to have a Grand Slam? And I think moving forwards, and for her whole life, both of them know the weight of not winning a Grand Slam, what it means. Well, this is the moment. One of them is going to be the bridesmaid and go home without that trophy, and that's going to be devastating.
It really is, but how do they do that? Because we can say it's all about focusing on the next ball, the next point, the next game, and Halep has mentioned that. That's been something she's really focused on with her Aussie coach, who's trying to make her more positive as well. But how do you physically, what's the method behind that?
Well, I think it's weeks and months and years of having, habits, and really focusing on what works, and just going back to your routine. So whether it's turning around at the end of a point and just resetting and giving yourself that one cue. Perhaps it's just, okay, I have to really move my feet here. I have to look to take the ball earlier. I have to be inside the court, just reminding yourself and having that awareness, we use the word being mindful a lot in tennis and in sport and in life, but it's that ability, the great athletes have more of an ability to be mindful of what's happening and then to be able to make those changes, but you don't know under this extreme pressure how you're going to cope, but you just hope that all these routines and all these methods and everything you know and all the work you've done on yourself, that it works. Even to this day, Serena Williams still writes down 2 points for a match. And it might be just, don't focus on the score. Be more aggressive. Look to hit forehands. It could be something as simple as that, which could make a very big difference. So we see Halep and Wozniacki, the differences in the way they've been focusing. Wozniacki's been trying to hit around the 68% forehand, so she's been looking to hit more forehands, whereas Halep is about 50-50, forehand, backhand. So one is being more solid on both sides and looking to open up the court, whereas Wozniacki's going to hit more forehands. If Darren said to Halep, I really want you focusing on more forehands, controlling that center of the court from the backhand side, that would have to be something really specific. She's going to have to keep reminding herself.
Yeah. So we talk about both of these players being so defensive and being quick and being human walls out on the court. And then the commentary, I feel like, has switched to they're being more aggressive. Wozniacki's serve is better, her forehand. But tonight, is that a strategy that they're going to apply of trying to be more aggressive, or would you maybe prefer to sit back and just say, listen, court's all yours, I'm going to stand here all night and get everything back? I'm just curious about the strategies and how they apply it against a similar player.
Well, for Halep, I mean, you know, Darren's going to say, look, the last 2 times that you've played, she got scorched really at the WTA final, something 11-2 or whatever it was. So,
wasn't close.
You know, so you know, is she coming in here in a different mindset and a different frame of mind? Absolutely. Because, you know, she won in Shenzhen. She's on a great running, you know, winning streak here. He would definitely be saying, you know, just really feel it out there. Just follow, you know, and trust your instincts and just be really pumping her up to be positive, because I think that's what she's really done really well here. I feel she's controlled her emotions quite well, but she's lifted her emotions. So, you know, it's finding that balance, isn't it? Not being too aggressive, not being just trying to be too much the passive player and lock in being really solid, because they're both going to banter for that little bit, the 1%ers. They're sniffing out what they sense, what they see. Both players will be looking down the other end of the court, just seeing whether one is a little bit more fatigued. You know, it's a whole culmination of things, and it's just the one that's going to do that better tonight is going to win this match. It's going to come down to like the very smallest of margins. And, you know, we're not reinventing the wheel as a coach. You know what you've got in place. It could be a 2-year plan, you know, but you hope that you're at the top of the hill right now and you're at the pinnacle and you're playing the best, and all the work that you've done has just come together at the right time. Okay, we suggested at the beginning of the segment, who's your tip for tonight's win? I really feel Simona Halep has just got the edge tonight. I just feel she's just that little bit more hungry. Yeah.
Because the last, and can I just throw this out there, the last player that won a tournament in the build-up to winning the Australian Open, it was at Shenzhen, it was Li Na, so that would be a repetition of that. Not saying that I'm using that to make my tipping decision, Nick, but you feel like she's unbeaten, Simona Halep. She's been through a lot this year already, whereas you've seen Caroline have that loss in Auckland. Who knows? We could discuss this all night.
All right, well, Louise, thank you so much. Best of luck. Inside, you can hear Louise Pleming on the World feed tonight, Wozniacki and Halep. Let's go ahead and hear from the players themselves ahead of tonight's epic final.